You know what I mean? Which Staysafe's video, Zoneman challenge, it's basically created to run in tandem with the hardcore experience in classic WoW. So I'm interested in watching this, guys, and I want to see what you guys think about it. Okay, the video is called Classic WoW Hardcore, but you need to unlock zones. Okay, and this is Staysafe's video about the Zoneman challenge. I mean, let's check it out. I'm kind of excited about that. Is this a specific server that works for the hardcore add-on, or is it just any classic server? Any classic server will work with a hardcore add-on will work on. Okay, however, we try to play on the same server or servers based off of region, because there's different servers that you're going to want to play on based on what region you're in, because then you're going to get other people to play with you rather than being alone. You know, it's boring to be in a world kind of alone with nobody else that's doing hardcore, you know, unless you're trying to be incognito and do like a PvP hardcore challenge, and you want to be on a PvP server and you don't want anybody to know that you're doing hardcore, so you can kind of stay under the radar. That's different. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can play Wrath of Lich King Classic too. Any classic servers a hardcore add-on will work on. Okay. But anyways, let's get into this video, guys. It's by Staysafe. It's called Classic WoW Hardcore, but you need to unlock zones. It is highlighting his new, what do you want to call it, add-on that he's been working on called the Zoneman Challenge. Let's check it out.
Since Classic WoW came out in 2019, I have spent over...
Let me know if the volume is good, guys. If you guys need a little bit higher volume, let me know.
...over 10,000 hours playing. And I have to say, I've done pretty much everything that I've wanted to do. That being said, though, lately, the Vanilla WoW Hardcore Challenge has been really a big breath of fresh air. But for the last year or so,
yeah,
I've been coming up with another game mode on top of that, all on my own, that I think really elevates the hardcore gameplay experience. Now, I have a really big OSRS history, and while I don't
never
play
played
much
OSRS.
these days, I still enjoy some OSRS content on YouTube, namely content relating to zone-restricted gameplay in which your character is really severely limited and how they can navigate around the world.
Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend and her brother last night about this, and it kind of like he kind of said something that made sense. It's playing this way kind of makes it seem like you're kind of sort of playing like an old school, you know, game, like a kind of sort of like a platformer where you have to complete this before you can do this before, you know. Now we're so used to playing in these open world games. This is kind of going back to the days where things aren't really open world anymore. Kind of cool, you know, within an MMORPG. I think it's kind of interesting.
I always thought it would be interesting to approach Classic WoW from this angle, so I came up with a new game mode for Classic WoW.
I would have never thought about this.
Zoneman Challenge.
Legit, never would have thought of this.
When you make a new character, all of the zones and capital...
See, look at that. Isn't that sick? So everything, the whole entire world is in a fog of war. Okay, except for, I guess, what he's saying right now, the first, your starting areas.
When you make a new character, all of the zones and capital cities are off limits for you outside of your 3 faction starter zones. If you want to
okay, so and starting cities. So that means if you're Alliance, Dunmorrow is going to be unlocked, Teldrassil is going to be unlocked, and Elwyn Forest is going to be unlocked. But Darnassus, Ironforge, and Stormwind, even though they are within those zones, they are considered their own zone, so those are not going to be unlocked, which is kind of freaking interesting, man. Right off the bat, that is like...
unlock a zone that's off limits, you need to purchase that zone by spending profession points.
Okay.
So basically, if you want to navigate throughout the game and to level up your character, you absolutely must level your professions. The challenge is balanced such that if you have 5...
Okay. I'm going to say one thing real quick. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to pause it very minimally so that we can get through the whole video, and then we'll kind of go through and talk about like each point. Unless there's something that like I've got to say right then and there. It's like, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to pause very, very seldomly because I really want to watch his video and, you know, but there's just so many possibilities with this. I could literally talk about this all day. Literally theory craft about this all day, you know? Do an Asmon and stretch the video out for like an hour? No, thank you. I mean, you probably could. But I'm not going to be like looking at the screen and be like, oh, wow, really? Oh, wow. Oh, I'm not going to do that number. I'm not going to fake it. Okay.
The challenge is balanced such that if you have 5 maxed out level 300 professions, you'll ultimately be able to purchase every zone in the game.
First zone, 150 points
to get to that point. Additionally, each time you purchase a zone, the subsequent purchases become cheaper, though your first couple zone purchases are really, really expensive.
Really expensive, dude.
I balanced the purchases this way because I wanted your early zone purchases to feel really impactful, and because as you level your professions, they get more challenging the higher up you go.
So it's going to be a lot easier also, when you get into like maybe 30s.
If you ever decide to drop a profession in order to learn a new one,
late 20s, early 30s, it'll get a lot easier.
Or in other words, you will have negative points if you've already spent those points on zones. This means you'll have to work your way out of point debt with your new profession, and it also ensures you don't end up leveling skinning to 75, then dropping it over and over and over again to easily purchase every zone in the game. This is a really interesting challenge because Classic WoW has 9 playable classes, 8 playable races, and 6 different starter zones. Then, branching out from there, there are pretty much an infinite number of ways to
unlimited
replayability and progression combinations, so every zone man's journey will end up being very different and unique. You are really forced to slow down, get immersed, and take in all that Classic WoW has to offer. And to help facilitate this game mode, as you might have noticed, I've worked with the legendary add-on author Tomcat to create the Zoneman Challenge add-on, which is currently in its beta test phase, but will release for free very soon.
Yo, Staysafe, I am so down to help test this, bro. Just saying. Just throwing that out there, okay?
What happens if you try to go into a zone that you haven't unlocked yet?
I love Blizzard.
The dark void awaits you.
That's kind of cool. You can still see in front of the... Oh, wow. I wonder if it ends up getting pitch black. Could you legit follow the road like this? Trying not to get attacked by enemies and follow it to Sentinel Hill and get the flight path? Like, could you legit do this? I wonder if you could do this. I'll bet you could. I'll bet you that's enough to see. Or does it eventually go pitch black? This is so cool.
Well, so yeah, you don't want to do that. But with all of that being said, let's get right into it and make Classic
Get to max
WoW's
level with the black screen.
Ever Zoneman.
But
first, a word from today's video sponsor, Power Gum, which is an amazing chewing gum with caffeine, vitamin D, and vitamin B complex.
Yeah, you need vitamin D if you're gonna be inside all day.
Energy boost that will make you feel alert and high functioning without that awkward energy spike or drowsy crash later on. Power Gum is also actually my own company and has directly funded the development of the Zoneman Challenge add-on. We've also sold almost 10,000 boxes worldwide, and over 50% of first-time customers come back and make a second purchase. So odds are, you'll probably like it. Now, you can go ahead and check out the video description down below for a link, and make sure to use code ZONEMAN for a 10% discount.
Nice.
Okay, so we are going to name our Zoneman character Zone Max.
I wonder how much is Power Gum? I don't know why I'm curious, but I am. Power Gum. Let's go look real quick, guys. How much is Power Gum? Order now. 3 sleeves of Power Gum, $16.99. 1 box of Power Gum, 6 sleeves. So 3 sleeves, there's 8 gum tablets per sleeve. That better be some damn good. Hey, you know what though? I'll say this: if chewing Power Gum keeps you from freaking dying in hardcore, dude, it might be a worthwhile purchase. Just saying, dude. Maybe if I had Power Gum when I fought, what's the enemy's name that I fought? Not Voltros. What was that? I killed Voltros at 13. What was that freaking enemy that I fought in freaking Badlands, dude? The the freaking big bird, the rare bird. Maybe if I was chewing Power Gum, I wouldn't have died. Or I would have remembered to freaking bring better potions, or to downgrade my freaking shots, down level my shots or something like that, so that my mana would have lasted longer.
Because we are maxing out
Okay,
each
here we go.
zone for all it's worth, and also somehow the name Zoneman was already taken. But that's okay. I'm also going to be playing a Night Elf Warrior because I think probably Night Elf will be the hardest Zoneman race for a couple reasons that we can get into in a couple moments. And I think Warrior is the hardest class to play, which reminds me, we're not just doing any old Zoneman, we are doing a hardcore Zoneman, which means if we
is
die,
honestly the
we are
only way
going
to
to
do
have
it.
to delete our character and start all the way over.
A Night Elf Mohawk.
So starting in Teldrassil means we are very, very limited in the professions we can pick up early game. Ideally, I want to go mining and blacksmithing, plus of course all of the secondary professions, cooking, first aid, and fishing. But I can't even train fishing until I unlock Darnassus, and I can't unlock mining or blacksmithing until I get to Darkshore.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta pause. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's talk about this for a second. Okay, that's true. Darnassus or Teldrassil does not have fishing. Teldrassil does not have fishing. You unlock fishing near the I was gonna say Mog House, near the bank, near the bank in Darnassus, like in the center, in that that area close to the portal. That's where you unlock fishing, and you can fish there and you can level up. But you need to unlock Darnassus. In order to unlock Darnassus, it costs 150 points. Okay, so what's available to you in Teldrassil? In Teldrassil, you have skinning, you have leatherworking, you have cooking, you have first aid, you have alchemy, and you have herbalism. If I'm not mistaken, it's essentially Elwyn Forest but backwards. Because in Teldrassil, well, Elwyn Forest also has blacksmithing, but without mining, blacksmithing, you can't really do anything without freaking mining, so it doesn't really matter. So that's like really negligible. You're not going to do anything by taking up blacksmithing, so it doesn't really count. But it's kind of like Elwyn Forest, but backwards, because Elwyn Forest, the near the town is leatherworking and skinning, and herbalism and alchemy is near Stormwind. It's the other way around in Teldrassil, because herbalism and alchemy is near the town of Dolinar, and then leatherworking and skinning is actually by Darnassus, but outside of Darnassus. So you can do that. Skinning is a really, really, really good way to get levels fast, and then you can drop it. You can actually use it as a moneymaker. Okay, you can use it as a moneymaker. So you can just get a crap ton of skins, and if you want to, you can even turn them into leather. What are those things called that give you the bonuses to your gear? I can't remember the name of it, but you get the bonuses to your gear on. I think it gives you like 8 extra defense or something like that. It's not that big of a deal, but I mean, hey, in hardcore, if you have like what, four pieces with that on it, I mean, I guess it'll add up maybe. But you could do that, or you can just vendor it and make money back. But I think what's going to end up happening, is the zones around the world. It's at least for, in the 20s and early, at least pre-level 30. Pre-level 30, it's gonna look a lot different. You're not gonna be running around Elwyn Forest and seeing freaking dwarves. You're not gonna be running around Teldrassil. You know what's funny? You are not gonna be running around Darkshore seeing a whole bunch of humans and a whole bunch of dwarfs and gnomes. You're literally gonna be in Darkshore, and it's gonna be a crap ton of night elves. Okay, I think that it's going to keep races near their homes because of how expensive it is for the first 3 spots to be unlocked. Okay, it's 150 for the first spot. I don't know what the second one is, like 80 something, I think, but still, that's still really high, whatever it is.
So starting off as a Night Elf is going to be brutal. This means we're going to have to pick up herbalism and skinning as sort of filler professions just to get enough points to purchase Darnassus and Darkshore, then drop those professions, go into point debt, then pick up mining and blacksmithing in Darkshore, then work our way out of debt by mining a bunch of tin and copper all over Darkshore. And also, side note, there aren't even any mining nodes on Teldrassil for some reason, so I really need to get to Darkshore ASAP. However, before leaving the safety of my starting zone, Shadow Glen, I want to make sure I'm probably level 6 or so, just to make sure I'm not under-leveled, because being under-leveled is a great way to die on a hardcore Zoneman warrior. I'm also going to try to set my Hearthstone at Dolinar and pick up cooking, pick up herbalism, and pick up first aid in town, then run west and grab skinning right outside of Darnassus before I really start banging out quests so that I can start farming profession levels as early as possible. Now almost every monster I kill will help me level my skinning or cook.
So that's what you're right. There's no mining nodes on Teldrassil. So what he's doing is he's picking up herbalism and skinning as filler professions just to grind out the levels. Just to grind out the levels, okay? And then, sorry, I was listening to what was going on in the living room. So he's trying to grind out the levels, and then once he unlocks Darnassus, he's going to go over to Darnassus, and then he's going to get mining, and hopefully he has enough points to unlock Darnassus and Darkshore. Because unlocking Darnassus isn't going to do anything. Well, it is really. Actually, yes, it is. Because then he can go ahead and accept fishing in Darnassus, and he can grind out a ton of levels in Darnassus with fishing. He can grind out all sorts of points between skinning, between herbalism, between cooking and first aid and fishing. He will easily be able to unlock Darkshore. Easily be able to unlock Darkshore by like 12 or 13, you know, which is really the level that you want to go there anyways. So it's really very doable. It's just what do you do after that? That's the problem. It's after that. Your first 50 levels on each profession, you can get pretty freaking quickly, you know, but then it really starts to slow down. I think what's going to end up happening is people are going to choose their starting nations a whole lot different based off of what classes they're going to be, you know, based off of what is available to you. Like if you want to be a miner and a blacksmith in Alliance, you're going to want to start, or an engineer, you're going to want to start in Dunmoreau. You know, because they have a mining person available. They have an engineer person available. I don't think that they have a blacksmith available, but blacksmith doesn't really matter because you can grind out levels in freaking mining. You can do mining. You can do fishing. There's a fishing person near Brunel Village. You can do cooking. You can do first aid. There's a lot that you can do there. You know, we already talked about Elwyn Forest is the same thing as here. What about talking about Hordeside? Hordeside is freaking, bro. Hordeside has it easy for this challenge if you want to think about it. Hordeside has it easy for this challenge because they have the ability to actually get around because of the fact that in order to get from I'm sorry, this is kind of hard to say. Let's go back to Alliance for a second. In order for people from Darnassus to get to the mainland where everybody else is, like Loch Modan, they have to unlock Darnassus, they have to unlock Darkshore, they have to unlock wetlands, and then they can finally unlock frickin' Dunmoreau. Okay? If they want to go over to Stormwind area and do, let's say that you want to do freaking, let's say you want to be from Darnassus and you want to run freaking, you know, dead mines. Okay, what do you have to unlock? Like literally think about this. What you have to unlock? You have to unlock freaking Darnassus. You have to unlock Darkshore. You have to unlock wetlands. The skip doesn't go over the mountain, unfortunately. So you still have to unlock Loch Modan. You have to unlock Dunmoreau. And then Ironforge. And then you can go from Ironforge straight into Stormwind, but you have to unlock Stormwind. Okay, once you unlock Stormwind, you gotta unlock Elwyn Forest because it attaches to Westfall, and then you gotta unlock Westfall. You have to unlock 9 freaking zones. Nine zones, unless, you know, maybe there's a case to be made about all the different skips and logout skips, and, you know, I'll bet you people are going to become really, really, really smart when it comes to logout skips and unlock and kind of go teleport around the world that way. But ideally, if you're doing this legit, which is the only way I'm going to do it, you have to unlock 9 zones in order to run Wailing Caverns. Is that even doable by level 26? I don't know. 9 zones, a lot of freaking zones, guys. That's a lot of freaking zones. And if you want to get all the quests to do Wailing Caverns, like you want to do the Van Cleef quest and everything so you can get the blue gear, you have to unlock Red Ridge Mountains as well, because that's part of it. So you have to unlock 10 freaking zones. That's a lot. Like, really think about this, guys. Really think about this. Now, I'm not saying this like, oh god, this challenge is too hard. No, I'm not saying that. This is good. This is a good thing. 10 freaking zones. Horde side. This is why Horde side has it easy, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but this is my opinion. Okay, if you see a whole bunch of people rolling Horde on Zoneman challenge, I'm telling you they want easy street. Okay, because Horde side is just easy. Okay, let's say you start on the other side of the world, which would be the undead area, Tirisfal Glades. Tirisfal Glades, you don't need to unlock Undercity if you don't want to, because the Zeppelin is in Tirisfal Glades. So you can go straight from the Zeppelin in Tirisfal Glades and unlock your first zone, Duratar. Hop over to Duratar and unlock Orgrimmar, so within 2 zones, you're already running a dungeon, Ragefire Chasm. Okay, Chasm, however you want to call it. Okay, you're running a dungeon already within 2 zones. Okay, the Tauren have it a little bit harder. They got to unlock an extra zone. Excuse me. They got to unlock an extra zone, which is the Barrens, which is long AF. Okay, spans huge distance. So they go from, and they don't even have to unlock their main city if they don't want to, because they can go straight to run Ragefire Chasm, whatever. They can just go straight from Mulgore and unlock the Barrens for their first one, unlock Duratar for their second one. Within the third one, Orgrimmar, they're already running their first dungeon, and they've already unlocked Barrens, so now they can run Wailing Caverns too, all with 3 unlocks. Freaking Orcs got it the easiest. All they gotta do is unlock 1 zone Duratar and they can go into a dungeon. 2 zones they can run Wailing Caverns. You know what I mean? It is so much easier on Horde side, not even close to kidding, dude. So not even close to kidding, okay? Oh wow, I think that Teldrassil is going to be a barren wasteland, because nobody's gonna want to go through this. Only the hardest of hardcore people are gonna start in frickin' Darnassus. Okay, there will be elven guilds for hardcore that will emerge, an elven hardcore guild that will emerge because of how hard and frustrating it's going to be to start from freaking Darnassus or Teldrassil. Okay, back to the video. Wow, this is so much fun, guys.
Cooking professions, and I can also hopefully get some linen cloth from the humanoids so I can start making bandages as well. And of course, I'm going to be picking every single flower along the way.
Yes, okay.
It's actually kind of nice knowing that I'll be dropping skinning and herbalism in Darkshore, because it means I can just vendor all of the leather and herbs for some extra copper, which will help me get going. I'd like to purchase some of the gear from the male vendor in Dolinar just to provide a little bit of extra survivability for the early game. I think right now the goal is to try to complete all of the easier, sort of safer quests right now while I'm still sort of weak and underpowered. Then, once I get some gear and some new skills after leveling, I can try to safely bang out all of the harder quests in Teldrassil once I'm a little bit more prepared. Also, while I'm trying to boost up my professions as much as possible, if I can help it, what I want to do is probably prioritize cooking and first aid as much as possible while thinking about getting profession points, because we know I'm going to be dropping skinning and herbalism later, and the more points I have in skinning and herbalism, that really just means more debt I'm going to have once I drop those. So now we have our very first 150 profession points, and we can
What
go
level is
purchase
he? What level is
Darnassus,
he?
which immediately unlocks the fishes. So now we have our
11, level 11. Okay, he got 150 points at level 11. Cooking, yeah, that's probably about what it would take. That's probably about what it would take, the amount of enemies that you have to kill to skin to get 75 levels. No, the skinning would go pretty quickly. It's the herbalism that's going to be a slow roll. But honestly, if you're in Teldrassil, you're probably only there with like 3 other people, let's be honest, okay? Unless like people really want a hardcore challenge, dude. This commentary is good. You should make a simple video. Oh, yeah? Okay. Won't this basically create the same issue as Final Fantasy XI hardcore that you didn't like? Unlocking things and then losing it when you die and having to redo it all over? I mean, no, because this is so much easier to unlock. You have to, no matter what class you're gonna be in World of Warcraft hardcore, you're going to want to level up all your professions anyways. Okay, and what it is it's replayability, because you can do it a different way the second time. You're not always going to start in from the same exact nation. You're not always going to take the same path. Sometimes you're going to do what he's doing right now, which is leveling a couple of different professions that you're not going to use just to unlock zones, and you're going to go into a huge zone or into a huge point debt, and then start grinding that back up later. So no, I don't see it as the same thing. Stuff to unlock in Final Fantasy XI is tedious AF, dude. It's really freaking tedious. It's just not the funnest.
Our very first 150 profession points, and we can go purchase Darnassus, which immediately unlocks the fishing trainer and a bunch of new quests to help us level. Darnassus is a huge first purchase for us.
It really
fishing
is.
and
It
cooking
really
go
is.
together really, really well. So now those professions can sort of start synergizing.
Fishing is huge.
And we can also turn around and take
Everything's
care of some of the more
come
difficult
together.
quests in Teldrassil that we skipped a little bit earlier, now that we're a little bit more prepared. It's going to be really nice to always have a food buff up. That will make things a little bit easier, and later on we'll also always have our weapons sharpened due to blacksmithing. And I have to say, wrapping up some of the harder Teldrassil quests with decent vendor gear and being slightly over-leveled is really a smooth experience.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
So now the plan is to continue leveling and wrapping up the harder Teldrassil quests. Ideally, we can get to level 12 or 13. I guess that's the dream.
Oh, dude, you can get to like 14.
Profession points so we can
you can get to like
Dark Shore
14 in Teldrassil,
then
dude.
We can really get our professions locked in
Teldrassil
and pick up
lit.
blacksmithing and mining. Also, now that we have fishing, we can really power level that up for a while, which will also directly boost our cooking really fast. It's also nice to stack up on a bunch of food buffs that we can use on quests that seem sort of risky. Okay, so now that we've wrapped up pretty much everything that there is to do in Teldrassil, we're level 13, our professions are decent, we've powered our professions up to a point that we have enough points to purchase Darkshore, it's time to hop on a hippogriff and fly to the mainland, leaving the safety of our starter zone. This also means that finally we are able to actually pick up the professions that we want. We can drop skinning and herbalism, we can pick up mining and black.
Okay, so he was able to unlock his second zone at level 13. Let me see how much it is, guys. I'm curious. Where's the oh, he did not include the thing, huh? Okay, luckily we have it. Okay. I came prepared. Let me see here. Let me find it, guys. Give me a quick second. Go. Okay. This is the Zoneman challenge. I guess he calls it the purchase formula. Okay, I'll leave this in the link. If I'll go ahead and link this for you guys in chat so you guys can look at this. Let me do that for you guys right now so you guys can look at this if you want to. And then if you're watching this if I make a YouTube video out of this and you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link to this in the description below as well so that you guys can check this out yourselves. Okay. So, anyways, second. Okay. So now we've got, This is a zone purchase thing. Okay. The first one's 150. The second one is, it's right here. Number 2 is 90. Number 3 is 80. Okay. So, okay. So let's go for the sake of argument. Okay. For the sake of argument, because we were talking about earlier. Okay. Remember what we were talking about earlier? Okay. Let's say that you want to start in Darnassus and you want to do Wailing Caverns by 26. I mean, let's be real. Let's say you want to do it by 22. Okay, because doing it by 26 is almost not even worth doing at 26. Okay, so let's say you want to do it like at 22. Okay, so you got 150 for the first one. Okay, then 90 for the second one, then 80 third, 70, 60, and 58. 70, 60, 58. Okay, then 56, 54, 52, 50. 56, 54, 52, and 50. So you're talking about 720 points you're going to need. So 720 divided by 5 different professions, you need to be an average of 144 with 5 of your professions by 22. All 5 of your professions by 22 in order to do this. Now, seeing it on paper, not paper, but on screen, this is very doable. This is extremely doable because you can easily knock out more than level 144 in fishing. Fishing is like, that's not too crazy. You're right. It's really not, because look, you can take your fishing to the frickin' moon. Okay. I don't know how it works in classic. It's like certain levels. You have to be certain levels to unlock certain things, to get up to a certain level. But I don't know exactly how it works. But I believe once you're level 20, you can go pretty decently high. I'll bet you can easily get freaking fishing to 200, 225 by 20, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know, guys. I don't really remember how it works. Okay. If you're herbalism or if you're skinning, well, definitely if you're skinning, 144 is a freaking joke. You can get way higher than 144 by level 20, way higher. Okay. Herbalism, it's going to be a challenge. Okay. I'll be honest. It's going to be a challenge to get to 144 by level 20, but it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. Mining is going to be a challenge, very big challenge, but it's doable. Okay, because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hang out in Westfall, and you're going to want to go into all those little small little the mines, all the mines in Westfall, and you're going to want to go from mine to mine to mine, running to the end, killing all the enemies in one shot. Hopefully you got some kind of a job that can, use area attacks to, just destroy everybody. Get the mines and move on to the next one, and you're just going to want to do that over and over and over and over again. It's going to take you like probably about 5 hours of grinding, but you can get to 150 plus by 20. You really can. So it is very doable. Obviously, it's just amount of how many humanoids you want to kill to level up your first aid to get to 144, but it's really very doable, guys. You are going to have to grind obviously more than you will for any other job or race rather to do it. You're gonna have to grind a lot more as a night elf than anything else, but it's still really very doable, guys. It's still really very doable. So yeah, let's get back to the video though. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Blacksmithing. Yeah, we're going to be in debt for a little while, but long term, I think this is going to be a really fun way to
absolutely.
approach the hardcore
absolutely
challenge on a warrior.
I will be all over Zoneman challenge. I will be all over. I will probably exclusively play Zoneman challenge when it comes out. It's just too fun not to. How could you want to play anything else? Zoneman challenge is one of those. I'm sorry, guys. You guys keep on asking questions, and I have to keep pausing it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry. This might not be this might be frustrating for you, but you're absolutely right. Okay, it's just the thing about it is, Zoneman Challenge is a game, in my opinion, a game experience redefining add-on. I do not have the ability to play classic WoW anymore unless I'm hardcore. I don't have the ability. I can't play retail. It sucks. Okay. I guess I could do it on a PvP server and just gank people all day and have fun doing that. Kind of, sort of. But that would just bore me after a while. Okay. This is the only way that I can play World of Warcraft. And it has to be classic servers. It has to be classic server unless the whole entire community is doing Wrath or Burning Crusade or something like that, and we're doing it as a group, and it's more fun that way. Yes, it does, Lazy Cloud. Retail is atrocious. Okay, sorry you don't see it yet, but maybe one day you will. Retail sucks. Okay, so this is just, in my opinion, an experience changing and redefining add-on. This has potential to be the second greatest thing that ever happened to hardcore the greatest thing that's happened to hardcore since the hardcore add-on. Hardcore add-on is the number one beginning, middle, and end to the hardcore experience, in my opinion. Must have, game defining, game just everything. The hardcore add-on is amazing. Absolutely amazing, but this is not about that. The Zoneman Challenge will completely change things. It will completely change the game. Once you do Zoneman Challenge the first time, you will not be able to play another way. I guarantee it. Like, seriously, like 75% of people that do Zoneman Challenge will never be able to play the normal way again. You know, it's just that good. It just seems like it's that good. I don't see the possibility of playing normal ever again.
Skinning and herbalism.
Like, I honestly don't even want to continue playing until this comes out. That's how much I want to do this. I'm so freaking excited. I don't want to go back to my paladin. I just want to do this. This is all I want to do. Like, regular hardcore to me is like dull now. This is so cool. So cool, in my opinion.
To actually pick up the professions that we want. We can drop skinning and herbalism. We can pick up mining and blacksmithing. Yeah, we're going to be in debt for a little while, but long term, I think this is going to be a really fun way to approach the hardcore Zoneman Challenge on a warrior, because we'll be able to make some of our own gear for ourselves. That being said, we are going to need a metric ton of copper and tin, mainly copper, to get our mining and blacksmithing up so we can work our way out of debt. And Darkshore is not known for its mining, to say the least, so it's going to be kind of a hard time. Yeah. But on the plus side, Darkshore has a ton of XP. In my opinion, it's probably the best 10 to 20 zone.
It might be really better. It might be better, though, like I said, because a whole bunch of people might not want to do the whole point debt thing, which means that there might not be a whole lot of miners, which could work in the benefit of you because you'll have a whole lot less competition. It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
So I think our goal is to get to level 17 or so, ideally 17, in Darkshore before we look to move on. But of course, we also need to do some serious mining in addition to continuing to level our secondary professions before we can even think of leaving. It's actually kind of nice that by maintaining cooking and fishing, you actually unlock a lot of bonus quests that normally I don't do, at least in the level 10 to 20 zones, that really help you level quite a bit. And now we have a sharpening stone applied to our weapon in addition to a food buff, so between those profession bonuses and showing up to Darkshore at level 13, things in Darkshore are going really well so far. Now, as we're working through Darkshore, I'm starting to think about what zone I want to purchase next. I don't think Ashen Vale will be very fun at level 17, there's not going to be a lot to do, we'll probably die, so I think our only option here is to purchase Wetlands and also lock Modan, then make the very dreaded, infamous Wetlands run, and hope that we don't die to the crocodiles, or what's really my concern are the orcs in the...
You know, honestly, if you're level 15 plus, you're fine. Level 15 plus, you really, really should not die to the Wetlands run. I could see it being a little bit harder as a warrior just because you don't have very many options. You don't have the the ability, like as a mage, if something hits you, they're going to get slowed. Okay, so a mage does have that benefit. They have Frost Nova, which might get resisted anyways, but you know, it's still something. You know, obviously, you know, paladins have infinite ability to freaking run across, you know, anything. Rogues by level 15, I believe they have sprint. So I could see it being a lot harder as a warrior, but still 15, 16 plus, you should have no issue making the wetlands run.
Mountain Pass at the very end of the run as you head into Loch Modan. That being said, it's going to cost,
especially with how popular
150 points
the hardcore
to buy
servers
both
are.
of those zones at once. So the big goal now is to get blacksmithing and mining caught up to my other professions so we can head to the Eastern Kingdoms, but we need to get as much value out of Darkshore as we possibly can first. I think almost every other race has an easier time with professions early game especially than a Night Elf, but I wanted to beta test the add-on on what is pretty much the hardest difficulty. Actually, a Night Elf Druid Zoneman is probably harder than a Warrior because you'd have to buy Moonglade at some point as well. You can definitely tell that.
Yo, that's true. I know it's only one zone, and once you're like in the 30s, I could imagine the Zone Man challenge not even being a challenge anymore. The Zone Man challenge to me really only looks like it's going to be a challenge level 25, like sub level 25. It seems like it's only going to be a challenge sub level 25. Once you start getting up there, though, I mean, like, your levels just start going, dude. They really do. Especially in like your gathering professions, you know, like herbalism. Once you unlock bruiseweed and you hit that level 100, once you get that 100, I think bruiseweed is 100. It could be 90, but whatever. Once you get bruiseweed, it literally all falls into place. You start just absolutely skyrocketing in levels because there's almost nothing that you're going to run into from then on that you're unable to pick. By the time you run into it, you're able to pick it. Okay, so you're just like boom, 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 just getting levels like crazy. And alchemy is super easy to freaking get levels for. You can skyrocket alchemy so easily, dude.
Blizzard didn't have Zone Man gameplay in mind when they were designing Vanilla WoW, which is actually why I think the Zone Man challenge has been so fun so far.
Didn't have hardcore in
But now we
either.
have finally reached level
amazing.
17 at long last. We have
amazing.
full 8 slot bags, and we have the profession points needed to buy both Wetlands and Loch Modan. We are finally ready to venture to the Eastern Kingdoms and leave the safety of the Night Elf lands. Purchasing a new zone and visually seeing the map color change is such a satisfying feeling. It's so rewarding to sort of extract all that every zone has to offer and then move on with intent and preparation.
Yeah,
into
like a freaking locust.
But this is where we leave off. Will Zone Maxer make it alive to the wetlands? Will Zone Maxer survive the dreaded swamp run to make it safely to Loch Modan? Find out next time on the Zone Man Challenge. Thank you guys very much for watching episode 1 of the Zone Man Challenge. This is a brand new type of content that I've never done before, and a lot of time, energy, and money has gone into making the Zone Man Challenge add-on. So please make sure to like, subscribe, and go buy some Power Gum if you'd like the series to continue. Thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, stay safe.
Yeah, guys, buy your Power Gum if you guys want to support stuff like this. But yeah, this just looks so freaking cool to me. I mean, seriously, looking at this, I just don't see how you play any other way after this. Okay, so let's see if you start Elwyn Forest. Okay, if you start as we'll go Horde and Alliance. Okay, if you start here, you're able to unlock fishing in Elwyn Forest. I believe in Elwyn Forest, right next to Goldshire, that little pond there. I believe there's a fisherman trainer right there. Okay, you can literally unlock fishing right there and just level it up. I don't know how high you can get, but I imagine you can get to 150. I think you can get to 300 in Stormwind, if I'm not mistaken. I believe you can get to 300 in Stormwind. I believe that's what somebody said. You can level fishing from 1 to 300 in Stormwind. I think that's what somebody told me. I could be wrong. But so that's gonna be really, really, really easy. Okay, getting those points. Obviously, first aid, cooking, a joke. lots of humanoids. The mines are packed with kobolds. The kobolds in the mines drop linen like crazy. Okay, granted, it's only going to get you to like level 80, you know, because then you're going to have to use wool. And the first place I know of to get wool reliably, and it's not even an insane amount, but you can get it pretty reliably, is in Westfall. Okay, Westfall right over here. Right when you go to the Dagger Hills, you start fighting, you start doing the third People's Militia quest, and you start fighting the Highwaymen and the Path Stalkers and the Knuckle Dusters. You fight all them over here and over here. These people drop wool, and obviously the gnolls over here drop it as well. But I don't recommend messing with the gnolls, to be honest with you, unless you're way higher level, because they just hang out in packs. So they're gonna get you. Okay, they're gonna get you. So just be careful with that. You can get wool there, and then you can start leveling up there. Okay, obviously once you start going into like Redridge Mountains, wherever the heck it is, right here. Once you go into Redridge Mountains, you'll start getting more wool, but you need to kill the orcs. Okay, you need to kill the orcs to do it. The orcs are over here, or they're like right over here, or they're like up here, you know. So you got to kill the orcs. Obviously the elites are in here, but I wouldn't mess with them. Or you can kill the gnolls. The gnolls are right behind Lakeshire. There's a whole bunch of them. They're very easy to kill. They're very easy to kill in Moss. Okay, they drop a lot of linen. Oh, and they're all over here too. One of the first quests that you do is to kill a whole bunch of gnolls. So that is going to give you a whole lot of linen and wool. Linen's not going to be really helpful anymore, but the wool will be pretty nice. So that is like Elwyn Forest. But if you're to do Elwyn Forest, you're going to start here. Oh, sorry, down here. You're going to start here, Elwyn Forest. Your first place you're going to unlock is going to be Stormwind. Okay, and then your second place you're going to want to unlock more than likely is going to be Westfall. Okay, so first place Stormwind, second place Westfall. I mean, you're talking about 130 points. No, 230 points, I think, if my math is correct. It's probably not. 240 points. Okay, it's 240 points for you to unlock Stormwind and Westfall. 240 points is not hard to get. You can get that really by level 12, 13, 14, whatever. By the time you're done with Elwyn Forest and you've done Elwyn Forest to the meat, you will unlock Westfall and Stormwind. Not a problem, okay? Then you can just start banging out Westfall a little bit. The problem is, for me, I don't like going to Westfall right away. I like going to Dunmoreau. So I might actually do Elwyn Forest, unlock Stormwind. Oh, but then I gotta unlock Ironforge too. I can't just go from, ooh, that's rough, guys. I wonder if it's doable to run through Ironforge with a black screen. I'm really curious. What I would do is I'm gonna try it out whenever I get a chance to play the add-on. I'm gonna try it out and make sure my Hearthstone is up. I'm going to attempt to run through Ironforge with the black screen and just using that little itty bitty amount they show you to hug the left wall. Because all you have to do is exit the Deep Run Tram and you hug the left wall until you get out of freaking Ironforge, okay? And then you'll be in Dunmoreau, and then you can unlock Dunmoreau, do some of the quests that I like to do in Dunmoreau, and then unlock Loch Modan and do what I like to do in Loch Modan, and then I go to Westfall. You know, is that against the rules though? I don't think it's against the rules. No, I don't think you're allowed to do that. Not sure. There's no. If it was going to be against the rules, what he's going to end up doing is he's going to make it so that after probably about 30 seconds or a minute or something like that, the screen will just go pitch black everywhere. You won't be able to see anything. It'll just get progressively darker until it's completely pitch black and you can't see anything. Okay. I think he did it this way though let people have like some options to hold off on unlocking a zone if they just need to pass through it really quickly. But like something like this, like Stormwind, obviously you got to unlock it. It's just too big. It's too massive. It's too hard to, like, trying to go through Stormwind without, you know, having access to like your map would be really, really hard. Ironforge is a big ass circle, so it's really not that hard. You can go out of the Deep Run Tram and get to Dunmerle very, very easily. But enough about that. We've already seen Darnassus, guys, so we've already seen that whole trip. But let's go to the Horde side, guys. Let's go to Kalimdor. Okay, let's go to Kalimdor, for instance. For a second, rather. What are we doing here? Let me see. Barons. Here we go. Mulgore. Okay. Starting in Mulgore. Honestly, guys, I'm not very practiced in Horde. Okay, I'm really not. So I don't know what professions they have where. I can't remember. I know that Tirisfal Glades has herbalism and alchemy right by freaking whatever the hell that little town is called. Okay. They have herbalism and alchemy right there. I think they have a leatherworker trainer on the road. I believe, I could be wrong. I don't know about fishing, but obviously they have cooking and they have alchemy. I'm sorry, cooking and first aid. Pretty much everybody has that. Bloodhoof Village, I believe, has fishing. I could be wrong, but I believe it has fishing. And I think Shenzhen Village has fishing as well, unless I'm wrong. But like I said, the Horde is easy mode. We'll be honest, guys. All the zones are attached on Horde side. Everything's pretty much attached, almost close enough. It's closely enough attached to Durotar to have whatever you want. Okay, if you're from freaking if you're from Tirisfal Glades, if you're an undead, you can unlock Durotar for your first spot. Orgrimmar for your second spot. You're doing a dungeon. Okay, if you're an orc or a troll, your first spot Orgrimmar, you're doing a dungeon. Okay, if you're from freaking if you are a Tauren, you unlock Barons, then you unlock Durotar, then you unlock Orgrimmar. Three freaking zones. Very, very, very easy to do. Okay, very, very easy to do. You can even throw in the fourth zone and unlock freaking I was gonna say Tarn Mill, but I meant Thunder Bluff. It's really, guys, it's a joke. Truthfully, it's a joke. Zoneman challenge is not going to be challenging on Horde at all. Okay, I guarantee you Horde will be packed with people doing Zoneman challenge. It's going to be way harder. And honestly, it's not going to be that hard as Alliance. It will just be harder because you have to go through cities to do this and that. The Deep Run Tram runs through the major cities. It attaches major cities. It's not like on Horde side where the Zeppelin attaches outer areas. You don't have to set foot in the cities if you don't want to. Okay? So if, for instance, if Brill or anywhere over there doesn't have fishing, you can just go to Durotar and unlock fishing in Durotar. All you have to unlock is one zone to do that. So it's a lot easier. But anyways, I'm excited for the Zoneman challenge. I don't know about you guys. Buy yourself some power gum and maybe it'll come out a lot faster.